Hey, hey, hey. How's it going?
Howdy, howdy.
All right. So we'll go ahead and get started here in the next minute or two. Um, do, do, do. LV, I was gonna call you, but your WhatsApp says not to call you. But what I wanted was gonna be hard to explain over text. So, okay. Before we get started, you guys have any, make sure my dog's not behind me. Any questions?
Yeah, I had a quick question. For example, yesterday there was a
Sure.
call that we were listening to. There was the lady that had a bank debt. Well, she had a debt with the bank.
Hmm.
Does those prospect qualify?
Qualify as a lead?
Yeah, like no matter if they have a debt, as long as they want to sell, do they still qualify?
I'm not saying he's right or wrong.
Yes.
You and I were probably trained by two different people, and to be honest, I'm finding some of the stuff I was told, they now say you were told incorrectly. So
Okay. Oh, thank you.
happy to modify my process when they point that out
Who
to me.
is
But
co-host?
I was originally trained by a
Our
little
host?
and more things.
All right. Fantastic. So to answer your question, yes, it counts as a lead. It doesn't matter if they still have a debt on the property because normally, as long as our offer is enough to cover that arrears and they can still walk away with whatever they're hoping to walk away with, it still qualifies.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Yep. All right. So tonight, I wanted to switch it up. I wanted to do something a little different. So, as you, I don't know if you guys know, it feels like we have some new faces, but we do have something called our No Excuse program. And essentially, that's taking people who have no experience on the phones, putting them through cold call training, giving them a script, giving them the dialer, giving them the leads, giving them everything they need, and, and work with those people. And then eventually, once they're comfortable on the phone, they're good at gathering the four pillars, going through the script, then they graduate. So that's something we've been doing for at least 6 months, I think, give or take, right? TJ was a part of that program, Graham was a part of that, Cody. So it's been going at least that long. So actually went to the nightly trainings. And this is going to be called No Excuses, Higher Level. I think that was the name. I might have butchered it. But tonight we're going to spotlight one of the guys that just graduated. He's been absolutely killing it. So we're going to listen to one of his first calls when he started, before he started working with us. And then one of his most recent calls that he did, literally, I think it was today. And just kind of going through that progression. So he's going to be here. He said he was on the bus. He was running a little bit late. But that guy that I do want to highlight is Chung. And yeah, he want to do tonight. And, and I guess I'll be DJ. All right, awesome. Are we live or no? Fantastic. Okay. So gonna go ahead and play this call. Let me, I think it's this one.
Hey,
Hello.
hi, is Frederick here?
Who is calling?
This is Lee. I'm a local home investor. Are you open to selling your property on Ocean Drive by any chance?
We are.
Oh, yeah. What's got you looking to sell? I'm a local real estate investor, by the way.
Okay.
Um, are do you have a reason for selling, or do you have a price?
No, well, we bought another property.
Oh, you just bought one, and are you still living at this one?
No,
But you sold already, or
that
you
was never our main home.
oh, that was never your main home, but and now you're looking to sell that one.
Eventually, yes,
This is the property on 408 Ocean Drive, right?
correct.
Right. So you got another property and you want to move into that one, so you're looking to sell this one
Eventually.
eventually. What's your timeline, if I can ask?
It's listed already. We already have a commitment with a real estate with an agent.
Oh, gotcha. Well, do you have a backup plan if it doesn't end up selling?
A backup plan if it does not end up selling. What are you talking about?
So, like, is there a specific price you're looking for this property?
Oh yes, there is a specific price for sure. It's going to be close to 800,000.
800,000. Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
what are you trying to walk away with?
You know what? We haven't done the math, but the one next to us is for sale for 955 right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we're waiting to see what happens with that to make a decision on ours.
Gotcha. Do you have like, what are your repairs? Do you think yours could get up to 955?
Probably not 955, but probably pretty close to it, considering what is going on around, you know, in and around Fort Pierce right now.
Gotcha. What are you trying to move to? So sorry if I'm asking like all these intrusive questions. I'm just trying to, like, I'm sure you're getting like a lot of calls from like other investors too, right?
I'm really not taking calls. I mean, I don't know if it was you that's been calling like 10 times a day.
Oh, yeah.
I'm getting a lot of calls from that 772 numbers that I don't take.
Oh, really? And I'm your first one that you picked up?
Well, I just decided to take it to see what it was, but
Hey,
yeah.
Yeah, actually, it might be a good thing because if you're trying to walk away with, let's say, 800,000, there's different ways I do invest. Like, one of them is like, a lot of investors are calling you, they're cash offers where they come in and they try to lowball you. I don't know if you probably didn't encounter any of those yet, but that is one way. But there's another way I invest where I give you what you want, but we try to figure out, like, if for example, if you're trying to walk away with 800,000, right? Well, you're not gonna walk away with 800 because you got to pay closing costs and, like,
Yeah, well, you know, at the end of the day, we're not in a rush to sell. We bought the other place cash. This place is, you know, we own it cash.
Oh, you own it. So is it
a
free
lot
and
of
clear?
properties. Yeah, everything we own is clear, free and clear, and we own a lot of properties. So, I mean, we're not dying to sell this place. We have a commitment with an agent that when it goes on the market, you know, it will be with her. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah. So you're trying to get 800. Yeah, I totally get you. You don't have a timeline for that, right? Because you already moved into your new property.
That into our second or third or fourth or fifth home, yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to buy properties around the area. If you have any other properties that you'd be open to selling, do you mind taking my number down?
Well, I mean, are you looking just in the Treasure Coast or?
I buy all over the area, like right now.
All over the area.
Yeah,
you
all
do
over
South Florida.
South Florida. Yep. So South Florida, New York, everywhere. Like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know, yeah, we do have properties, you know, that we might eventually sell. So why don't you shoot me why don't you shoot me an email with your credentials?
Sure. What's your email?
At mrb7055@gmail.
mrb7055
at Gmail.
at Gmail. Okay, gotcha. Can I ask you a few more questions before I let you go, real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Um, what would you be able to? Sorry. Actually, so your motivation, you got a new home, right? Because I usually like to take down like 4 pillars of information just to get like a grasp of your situation. So you're open to selling because you moved to a new place and your asking price is 800K, right? Are there any like repairs on the house that you need to do to get it to 800K? Or
No.
so it's like fully like on a scale of 1 to 10, what would that be? Like,
Listen. We're busy. We're about to go out to dinner with
oh,
my
gotcha.
husband.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Well, I'll shoot you my
it's
code
okay.
that
It's okay. Yeah, I mean, it's we have a plan. My husband's a real estate attorney. We're good. So
Gotcha.
just send me your credentials, and if we decide to do anything, we can eventually contact you.
Gotcha. Thank you very much. Sorry about that.
Okay. Thank
Take care.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
So that was Chung's first full conversation doing cold call. I know you didn't hear all of it, Chung, but I mean, it was some rough parts, It was
I wish I came in
it's
5
okay.
minutes so I didn't have to hear that again.
You said you were coming at 45, so I was like, all right, I got time. I was trying to spare you.
Yeah.
But what'd you think kind of listening back to it?
I was so focused during, I still remember like that feeling. I was so focused on what to say next that I wasn't listening to what she was saying, and I was just like so nervous. I mean I still get the jitters sometimes, but that one was really brutal.
I mean, I think you still hung in there. Like it was a 6-minute conversation. You got through the call. She didn't hang up on you and said, "Oh my God, you suck," and hang up. So that's something to be said. But like, I want to open the floor. This was his first cold call, right? I think now he's a lot better. So you guys can actually give some feedback, criticism. He won't cry. I don't think so. Chung, you good?
Maybe one tear, but only one.
One tear. But all right, what did you guys think?
Chung, I'm biased, brother. I love it. I was actually listening to that call, and I thought it was like a later call because you have that raw talent. You know what I mean? There actually weren't that many ums that I remember in it. So you developed those somewhere along the way, and you got rid of them again. But solid. It was solid how you were addressing all the things that needed to be addressed. She tripped you up in there by lying or withholding information. She's like, "We'll sell it eventually," and you're like, "What's eventually?" She's like, "It's listed. It's listed. What do you mean eventually? You're trying to sell it right now. Why are you saying it?" But you were kind of not feeling confident to ask that kind of stuff. I know you're much more confident now, but the other part where she's like, "Yeah, we're realtors. We're good. We don't need you." She tried to like throw that off as a rebuff too, but you dealt with it. And got the information. She like Ali said, she wasn't saying you're horrible. I hate you. Don't call me back. She's pretending that she had to go to dinner. But I love it.
Thanks, man. Yeah, thanks. One part that I thought about was like, one part where I said, "Oh, I just want to get 4 pillars of information." That part still makes me cringe.
That happens. When we don't prepare, we don't know what we're gonna say. So whatever just comes out, you see it right there. It says 4 pillars. I'm like, I guess I should say 4 pillars. Like, oh, I'm not saying that again. And then you plan to say something different. So it's all good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right. So on this call, I haven't listened to the second call. I listened to like the first minute of the next call I'm going to play. This was one he did today. But, one thing I heard in that call, which was, feedback we'd give pretty much anybody, careful with the double asking of questions. You asked her a question, she let there be a second of silence, and you're like, oh, what about this?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to let a question sit rather than just shooting questions. Because they're only going to answer one. They're only going to remember the last one you asked them. So always careful with that.
Yeah.
And then in this call, go ahead.
That's something you're gonna hear on this call too, because that's a horrible habit I have that's so hard to get rid of. I'm still doing that. You're gonna hear it.
Chung.
I know.
No, it's all good. But that's one thing that's really important. But the next thing that was pretty glaring in this call was there was a lot of closed-ended questions. Oh, are you living there? Yep. What's my next question? Do you guys have that next place picked out? Yes. Okay. Uh, Um, when you ask questions like that that are yes or no, that's all they're going to give you. They're not going to expand on it. So that's why we talk about rather than using questions that start with like can or yes or no, we rather use more open-ended questions like what or why. I try not to use why as much, but that helps it to where they can't just give you one word answer. You can't say like, hey, what has you thinking about selling? And they say, oh yeah, yeah. It's like, what? Are you okay? What has you thinking about selling? Right? They have to give you something else. Oh, we're looking to relocate. Now there's something for you to actually grab onto and continue that conversation, keep it going. So that's why we do that. In this call, one thing that's like a pet peeve of mine is this over politeness. Like we're trying to put money in their pocket. I don't know if you guys realize that. Like we're trying to buy their house, put money in their pocket. So asking things like, oh, if I can ask, if I may, excuse me, ma'am, one more question. We're buying a house, 200, 300, 500, $800,000 homes, right? Just ask the questions you want. Yeah, the terms explanation kind of fell flat. Like it was like, I was confused. So I know she was confused, which was why she cut you off and was like, it's listed. She was like, I don't know what this is, but I'm not interested. So we'll see kind of, what happens on this next call. But before I play that next call, any questions, comments, or concerns? All right, 3, 2. All right, here's a call from Chung today. We'll see what happened. It's about 11 minutes. I might break it up a little bit, but we'll see.
Hello.
Hey, Mario, this is Michael. You spoke to my teammate back in 2 weeks ago in April about selling that property on Jefferson Avenue. I'm just following up to see if that's still the case.
On Jefferson, yes, that's the case.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, yeah, my job is to find out more about your situation and see what solutions we can come up with. Could you catch me up to speed on your conversation? Where were you guys at? What's got you looking to sell the property?
780,000.
780,000. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. How much are you looking to net on that 780,000? Like after back taxes and mortgage or whatever closing costs?
What do you mean mortgage cost?
After like minusing mortgage or back taxes or like closing costs, how much do you want in your pocket from that 780?
Well, that's already paid off.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right, makes sense. Yeah, then you probably net a lot more in your pocket. Is there a timeline you were looking to close on this?
No, anytime is good.
Oh, okay. So we can go as fast as we want, right?
Yes.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Yeah, because we like working fast.
All right, I was gonna let it play. I just can't do it. My soul, I can't let it happen, Chong. All right. So intro was really good. It was really smooth. That, hey, can you catch me up to speed? Was like perfect. And then you stepped all over it by asking another question. It was like, hey, just catch me up to speed. You talked to somebody in the team, just catch me up to speed. What's going on? Leave it. Let them answer. Don't step on it. Okay? That's how you get the information. Next, you went into what are you looking to net? I love this question. Then again, you stepped all over it, right? Asking like, oh, after the mortgage back taxes liens, they're like, what liens, what back tax, what mortgage, what are you seeing? So the question is, hey, so what are you looking to net? But before I'd go there, I'd go for price. I think he said like 780. You're like, okay, 780, cool. Is that what you're looking to net? Yeah, I'm looking to net the whole 780. The house is paid off, it's been paid off, and yeah, I've had it for 27 years. Right? Now that's more effective rather than I don't have a mortgage. There's no liens, there's no back taxes, rather than running into that. So just careful there. But let's continue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I just got to get a few more information, a few more bits of information. Yeah. So, what's got you looking to sell this property? I mean, it sounds like a good property. I'm looking at the notes here. It says a commercial property with 4 units.
Yes. Well, it's kind of divided in 4 units right there, right now.
Oh, it's already done.
Yes.
Are you using? Are you? They rent it right now? They're occupied.
Yes.
Oh,
It's
okay,
a,
okay.
part of it is a venue. Part is it's just like a gift shop, and
Uh-huh.
the part is a warehouse.
Uh-huh. Okay, so it's used like a gift shop, and you also said it was used for like a venue, as a venue.
Come again?
You said it was used as a venue for like parties or
Yes.
something?
Yes.
Oh, okay. How much does that bring in rent?
Well, I mean, all depends. I mean, I don't got it advertised or nothing, but if somebody does the right advertisement and stuff, it can bring a lot of money.
Yeah, it does sound like that because commercial properties do make a good money compared to rentals.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, why are you looking to sell it if it's good, it's bringing
I
in
just
money?
want to buy a bigger house.
Oh, bigger house. Okay, and you're gonna take the money you get from selling this one to buy the house?
Yes.
Oh, just curious, how much is the down payment you're looking for your next house?
I'm gonna pay cash 920,000.
920,000. Oh, you're still gonna be short like 200,000.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And what happens if you don't sell it? Like, how long have you been thinking about selling this one? Hello?
Yes,
Sorry.
I'm here.
Oh, Mario. Yeah. I was just asking. I mean, sounds like you're short on this one, but like, what happens if you don't sell this one? Are you like in a rush to move?
No, I'm not in a rush. I mean, it's so good. If I don't buy that one that I'm looking for right now, that's fine. I just buy a land.
Oh, okay. You're just gonna buy land if you don't buy that house.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
The other house is not kind of for sale right now.
Mm-hmm.
It got a been offer for me only. So
Oh.
I figured, and then they're building a newer house. So when they're done building their new house, put this one on the market. So I still got 4 6 months to go home.
Oh, that's good. So you got them waiting for you. Oh,
Yes.
that's a good deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, okay. So is even when they finished building the house, it's just the only thing stopping you from moving into that one, the selling of this one?
Well, you could say as of right now, yes, but I mean, one of these days it's gonna go. So
One of
I'm not in a rush, you know.
oh. Oh, okay. So you've been thinking about like selling this one for a bit now. I mean, you're not in a rush to sell it, and you don't need to sell it right now, but eventually you thought about selling it, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I hear you. So what does it look like if you do sell this one? Like, what's the next step?
Well, you sell it. I mean, sell it.
Oh, to sell it. Okay, and that would like just be 780 in your pocket.
Yeah. Because probably a month, I'm gonna list it with the realtor.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, when were you thinking about doing that?
Because right now it's not on the market as a for sale as of right now.
Oh, okay.
But in a month I'm gonna list it with a realtor.
Yeah, that is a good option. But let's see if we can find out a solution for you first. Then that way you can avoid like a realtor cost and like advertising costs and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I'm thinking, because I do have the green light to use cash, but cash comes in like low. Is that something you're looking for? It's fast, but it's cash, but it's a bit lower than what you're looking for.
Well, it's the same thing. It's called cash or check or whatever. But I mean, I'm not going to be spending the cash money anywhere. I can wait 1 or 2 months for closing. Like I said,
Okay, since you're not in a rush, yeah, then, okay, since cash we're able to give you a big chunk of money, right? But it does come in lower because we can't give cash in like a full like 780. We can't afford that. But we do have another way that we can sell, like buy your house from you and give you like the highest money possible, right?
Right.
If we were to come up to a number you're comfortable with and we're comfortable with, and it's a win-win situation. Have you ever played the lottery?
Well, yeah, occasionally, yes.
Yeah. So let's say you win the lottery, right? Imagine if you do win the lottery and you win like $780,000. and you go down to the office to pick up the
But let me
780,000.
tell you this: the only reason if I sell it is to buy the house. If I'm gonna get less money, it's not worth it to me.
Okay, yeah, yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I'm
So,
gonna cross
so,
that off the list.
so
We don't have to go that route. The first thing is they either give you the big the chunk of money cash, right? But they
Yeah.
like the government takes like half of it, and you only get like half of the 780,000. That's kind of like a cash offer, but it doesn't work for you, right?
well,
Right.
not see, the government don't get nothing if I just go and trade it for the other property that I'm gonna get. It's just
Yeah, that also
acquiring
works.
another property for the equal value.
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
more
That's
value.
a 1031 exchange. That works too. You avoid the capital tax that way too. That's a possibility that you could use and you should use if it comes up. But I'm just giving you ideas. Like the other way I buy houses is like, you know, the lottery, back to the lottery example.
Yes.
It's they pay you the full 780, but it's like in payments, you know. And if you don't need the money right now, that might be a good option if you want to collect money, start to collect money, you know.
But how long would it be the rest to pay?
It really depends on how long like we come to agreement with, you know. It could be usually you become like a bank, you know, and when you buy a house from the bank
I
and
know,
you
but
make a
it's going to
mortgage,
be 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 6 months, or
it's for an amount like this, it's usually like 30 years. But you said you want to move in like 4 months, right? 6 months.
yeah.
Hmm. I'm thinking. So usually since we take like 30 months, and that's not really a problem. Do you think you could get a mortgage? Then you want to pay that one out in cash, right? Or you want to exchange it anyway, right?
Yeah, because that's the purpose of selling, or what other purpose is going to do that? I prefer to keep it if I'm making more money renting it.
Hmm. Yeah, but I mean, the way I was telling you I was gonna buy it was, it would take you like, it would make you upgrade you from a landlord to like a bank, so you wouldn't have to take care of the property or
Yeah,
anything.
but
Like,
I
just give
but
the money
I
each.
would not acquire the money that I need to buy the
Yeah,
how much
yeah,
would it be? So we're just talking, and we're really
yeah,
not.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, we're not fleshing anything out. We're just shooting ideas at each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see. Because you want to move into the next property and you need about 900K to buy that one flat out
Yeah.
in cash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
And that's exactly why this is paid off, because when I sell it, I can just do that. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not advertising as a
Mhm.
rent to own or nothing like that. Because if
Mhm.
I rent to own, I make more money keeping it than renting it to own. So,
Yeah,
so it's not working
yeah,
for
yeah,
me.
yeah. I hear you. Yeah, and you know what? That might be the best option too. Once that house gets built and you can 1031 it to that one, and just like find a way to pay off the other 200. You know,
Yeah.
that might actually be the best option for you. See, like I just want to find the best solutions. You know, if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for us. But
Yeah.
but I'm gonna send this to my underwriter anyway and see what the ideas they can come up with. And if we have a better idea, I'll call you back. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, because this is right there, probably 8 blocks from the Magnolia guys here in Waco.
Mhm. 8 blocks
And
from Magnolia.
yeah, well, this is from 8 blocks away from the Magnolia building from Waco. So
Mhm.
so it's like almost 12,000 or 11,000 square feet property.
Mhm.
So
That one's also a commercial building.
yeah, I mean this commercial building there is like 10,000, 11,000 square feet altogether.
Wow. Wow. Actually, that's really good. I can't imagine the rent that's gonna pull in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Yeah, I'm just gonna send this to my underwriter and see what they could come up with, and if they come up with something, I'll reach out to you. Okay, Mario.
Okay, bye.
All right, thanks. It was nice talking to you.
You're welcome. Bye.
All right. So
Hey.
interesting call. What are your thoughts?
On this call, I was really focused on like making it conversational, so I was trying to take what he was saying and like shit it back and stuff. But you could hear my voice started shaking when it went into uncharted territory, and and I didn't know what direction to take it because he didn't want a cash offer because he needed that money to move into the next house. But I also realized a lot of sellers that own rental properties, they know like when I bring up like seller finance, they'll go, why would I do that when I can just rent it out and collect money that way? I realize a lot of sellers actually say that same kind of line. But yeah, at that point it was like, okay, so he didn't want to do seller finance and he couldn't do cash. That's when I started getting like shaky because I'm like, where do I go with this? How do I end this? Or what am I gonna say? You know? So I end up, I don't know if I did that correctly, but I ended up agreeing with him. I said, oh, the best option might just be to use a 1031. So I don't know if that's correct or not, but I need directions. So
Okay, cool. 1 second, I'm just thinking. Okay. So I thought the call was good. I do think terms might have been, I feel like you didn't understand the full problem. So let's go over that. And this is how you want to start figuring out. Because, right, even though we have creative as a backup option, it isn't always the best solution for a homeowner. The only way it's going to be a solution and it's going to be something that would actually work for them is if it's helping them get from where they are to where they want to be. And that gap for him was buying, he said something. He wanted to invest in something and he wanted the majority of that money. So knowing that, you can kind of start figuring out what strategies work, right? So this was, you said it was a 4-unit commercial building?
this one's a 4-unit commercial building that he wanted 878.
And for the 878, how did you know that wasn't a good number?
Sorry, for the 878.
Mhm.
Wait, what do you mean? 878.
Yeah, so he told you like, hey, this is the price I want. And then later in the call, you're like, yeah, the number you're wanting for, we can't do it. We can't afford it. So with, I was just wondering, how did you like come up to that?
Oh, 780. The 780 he wanted. I couldn't pull that up on Zillow, but I was saying, what if we come up to the price you're comfortable with? Like the most amount of money we can get you on the market.
Okay. So yeah, this one with, so that little cheat I taught you of like, hey, if it's 90% or less of estimate, cash will probably work. But if it's at or above estimate, then you're probably going to want to pivot to something else. That wouldn't apply to commercial. And maybe one night we'll actually have Diana come in and kind of break it down. But commercial's not, its value isn't derived from like a estimate. It's figured out from profit and loss statements. It's figured out from the rent rolls. It's figured out from, it's a lot more tedious underwriting that goes into it rather than just, oh, your neighbor sold for 875. That means yours is worth 875. So on commercial, I'd be very careful of ruling out cash. Rather, I would just ask, okay, cool. How did you come up with that number? Because if he owns like a commercial property, that's typically not your average mom and pop investor who own, 2 single families on the same street. So he's probably savvy. And if you ask him like, okay, how are you getting that price? he'll probably break it down for you. All right, based off of the rent rolls, I'm bringing in 80K a year. You know, the mortgage and all the stuff I got to pay off is 40,000. I'm grossing 40,000. That means the cap rate's 6.5, and 6.5s are worth that much. Now that gives us more insight. So I wouldn't have disqualified cash on this since it was commercial. What if that's a good number and the property's worth like $1 million? So I would just be careful of that. If it's single family, go for it. Duplex, go for it. Triplex, maybe go for it. But like 4 and up, commercial, I wouldn't do it. All right. But we'll just assume, like, let's say it was a single family. So if that happens and he's like, hey, I want 875, and the estimate is, let's say, 800,000. That's a person where more likely than not, cash isn't going to work. And right, this system isn't foolproof, but never have I ever seen it to where underwriting comes back higher than this estimate. Usually the number comes somewhere around 50, 60% of estimate, depending on the condition. And that's just rough numbers for you guys to have. All right. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Wait, I have a question about that. I wrote that part. I wrote cash out because he said he didn't he wanted 780 for it, and that he wanted that money to buy the next place. I'm also really iffy on that part. I don't know. That's kind of why I wrote it out, but could you correct me on that?
Well, I mean, the price doesn't matter. That number could be, I want 2 million. If it's a 20-unit property, we have to do more underwriting than simply looking at estimate, because that's not an accurate representation of the property's value. Right? So I'm imagining this is a single family. So this is a single family, and let's see, I'll try to get, because I like images. All right. All right, so it's a single family. I'm going to abbreviate single family, right? AP is asking price. They want 780, right? Zestimate, and you can use Zestimate, Redfinomate, Open Door it, whatever. I don't really care. Zestimate's just the most notable one. But let's say Zestimate is 700,000. All right. So typically, what I end up telling you guys is, and how we kind of run it is, if the asking price is less than 90% of Zestimate, cash is in play. Right? So in this instance, I don't know, 780. All right, that's 702,000. Right? So if the asking price is greater than 90% of estimate, you're gonna have to do something else. That could be novation. That could be sub 2. That could be seller finance. That could be hybrid. Right? It's gonna be something, one of those, probably some other ones I'm missing, but these are the main ones. So in this instance, right, we're treating this like it's a single family, just so I can kind of get to a certain point, right? So if he's saying, I want 780, you pull up the Zestimate on this home, it's a single family house, and it says Zestimate 700,000. With this rule in mind, we know cash isn't gonna work. All right. So once we know that we need to now bring up this as a conversation. All right. And how we do that is, you went through the funnel and you did it correctly. Because what a lot of people do when they try to pitch terms and they don't understand like how the structure or the framework of it goes, is they won't explain to the seller why they can't get cash. Seller finance, hybrid on its own is not attractive. Nobody says, oh, getting my money over 30 years, oh, that's sexy. Nobody thinks that unless they're like a seasoned investor and they already done hundreds of these transactions. But to the normal homeowner, man, I gotta wait 15 years to get my money. I'm already 65. I might be out of here by the time I get that. That's not attractive. So what makes creative attractive is the disparity in price, right? And that's what we want to create. So in this call, one thing that I wish you would have done is rather than saying, hey, we don't have 780,000. That's not true. If it's a good deal, good opportunity, we'll be able to find funding partners. What you want to say instead is, hey, at 780,000, first, how are you coming up with that number? Maybe there's extra 15 acres of land. Okay, cool. Most of the time, oh, it's just what I want. Got it. So, I can go ahead and I can actually take this to underwriting. But if I do that, I mean, and this is just me ballparking it, they'd probably come back somewhere in the 500,000s. Right. I mean, and I'm assuming that's something you wouldn't be interested in. And the seller's gonna say, oh, hell no, if that's what you guys are gonna offer me, get off my phone. Right. Right. Whatever. I'm not a great speller, right? So here's cash. Right. So I tell you, hey, for cash, if I take this to underwriting and I give you that call back, they're probably going to be somewhere in the 500,000s. How did I get that number? I honestly just made it up. I lowered it from what the seller wanted. You can make it 50% of what they're asking. You can make it 60% of what they're asking. If they say, ooh, 500,000, keep going with cash, go ahead and finish out cash. But if they're like, oh, hell no, I'd never take that. Thanks for calling. Appreciate you. Just tell them like, hey, I wouldn't take that either. I mean, you're looking for 780, right? So obviously cash isn't going to work. Boom. Now, hey, but we actually do have this other option that might work for you. I just want to make sure I really understand your situation. All right. So then what we want to figure out is how much he needs for that next place. This guy said, I need all the money, right? Anyone can answer this. Does anybody remember, or I'm just gonna guess then? Are you guys with me or no?
Oh,
Are we still here?
yeah. I think he wants a lot of money to
Okay.
this property.
Okay. So he said you need all of it. Sorry, it's a background noise.
I think so.
Okay.
He wanted to.
So 70K for next investment. Right. So he needs 780K for the next investment. Typically, with your sub 2 seller finance hybrid, right? This is just if they have debt on the property. So it's a mix of subject to and seller finance. So this particular guy, he said it was paid off. That's why we asked earlier, hey, what are you looking to net? This is a very innocuous or like a sly way to figure out if they have debt on the property. What are you looking to net? Right? So he said, oh, it's paid off. So you already know there's no debt. So if I'm going creative, seller finance is that option I'm going to pitch. Okay, so now we get here. The seller needs 780K for investment. He's not worried about capital gains. All right. That's CG, just abbreviating. So now we're here. With this type of guy, seller finance doesn't solve his problem. All right, do we all see that?
Yeah, he's looking at 1031 it.
Okay. Yes. All right. So he's looking to do a 1031. He needs all that 780. And I think, Chung, you brought up a good point. Like, hey, you're still going to be short 200,000. So was he getting a loan for that remaining amount he needed, or what was happening there?
I think I said something along the lines of, yeah, so you're gonna the best option for you is to 1031 it and then figure out how to get the rest of the 200.
Exactly. So now, because we're looking at what the seller is looking to accomplish, what is he doing with the money? This is so important before you get here, because there's no point in pitching something that's not going to get the seller from point A to point B, right? What you were doing, you were getting the seller from point A to, A point 5. This isn't where he wants to be. He wants to go from A to B, which is ultimately him getting that property. So seller finance doesn't make sense. You shouldn't have even pitched it here.
Yeah.
So creative doesn't work because it doesn't solve his problem. And you use a great line. Hey, if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for us. So, hey, Tony, I'm just trying to figure out how we can actually make this work. So when I look at this, obviously cash, we're investors just like you. Obviously our goal is to make profit and make money here. And if we bought this place, we're probably just going to do a fix and flip on it, relist it, make a profit and move on. And I don't think that's going to be the best option for you, even though that's easier for us. So, typically we do try to look into like seller finance situations with homeowners, but from what you're telling me, that's not going to work for you because you want that whole 780 to roll into that next property, right? And you have to get all of that. Yeah. Or I gotta get at least 300,000. Okay. That still doesn't work for us. Nobody's putting down 300,000. So after that, what option does that leave for you? So we've crossed out cash. It's not going to work. It's too low. Creative doesn't work because it doesn't allow the seller to accomplish his goals. The only option left, and this is if, like, you guys, of course, if you do it, is doing a novation. Essentially, does everybody know what a novation is, or do I need to kind of break that down?
Could you break that down for me, please?
Heck yeah. All right. So novation, essentially what it is, there's two different forms of it. The form I'm talking about is going to be I believe the first guy who initially coined this is Brewer. His name is Eric Brewer. Eric. So what a novation is, the Eric Brewer type of novation, is essentially the property is in pretty decent shape. Those type of properties that, it's in good shape, it needs paint, needs carpet, but everything else is good in the home. These are the type of properties you want to tackle. How I identify them, you guys know, like in our cold call script, if you look at it, when you ask condition, it says, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate the house? 10 being a brand new house. We're looking for properties that are 7, like a 7 or 8 out of 10, which means very minor things are needed to be done, right? We're talking paint, carpet, done. Everything else is in pretty good shape. It doesn't have to be 2024 HG TV with the touch fridge and all that crap. No, it just needs to be clean, livable, decently updated. So this is why you need to find out condition as well. But once you have that figured out, and he's like, yeah, I just need to paint carpet, it's in really good shape. I take care of the home. I have a lot of pride in my home, blah, 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 blah. Now that leaves novation as an option. And what novation is, getting to that, is this is essentially where instead of us being on opposing sides from the homeowner, hey, we're trying to buy the house and negotiate it for 50 cents on the dollar, and you're trying to get the most amount of money, rather than having these two sides constantly pushing against each other, we eliminate all that friction. And now it's more of a, hey, let's partner up and work together on this. So what that means is usually people work with the homeowner. They fill out an agreement that allows us to actually list the property on the open market, on the MLS, and we agree upon a net price to them. So in this example, I'm just using an example. Let's say if we did an ovation, we could offer, I don't know, might be like six. I don't know. I'm just spitballing numbers. It'd probably be somewhere like 675. All right. So what we'd actually do is you'd offer this and you'd say, hey, how about we just actually partner up on this? And what we'd actually do is we'd offer you what we call our home equity protection program. People love programs. They love to sign up for them. We have this program. I got to see if you get approved for it. But essentially what happens is we would actually go ahead and we'd partner with you. We would go in, do any minor upgrades to the property that need to be done. We'd agree on a net price for you to get in your pocket. And we would deal with listing the property, working with some of our end buyers to purchase a property. And we would take care of all the headaches of dealing with the appraisals, dealing with agents, dealing with negotiations, dealing with the showings of the property. We would take on all of that. So you can just sit back, relax, and know that at the end of 60 days, you're going to get 675 in your pocket. And the reason we can offer something like this, and you can finish the pitch, but yeah, I'm kind of winded. But that's essentially what it is. This is a way where you guys can offer more money to homeowners by partnering up with them. And then you're listing it essentially on the MLS to get a higher price, because end buyers are always going to be the ones that pay more. Investors pay the least, end buyers the most. So this was really the only option to pitch here. We wouldn't have tossed out a price. We would have underwrote it first, but this would have been the play. And if he was like, no, I'll just list it with my agent, you can go over kind of like the benefits of novation and why it's slightly different than listing with an agent. But if you still like, no, I would just pivot to other properties and tell them like, hey, I told you earlier, if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for us. And honestly, if you just list it with an agent, you can probably get close to what you're asking. So, I mean, do you have any other properties that might be more investor friendly? And just pivot off the conversation. Or are you still looking to buy? All right, so this is kind of a very long way of explaining the thought process on how you figure out like, hey, what am I going to pitch? How am I going to do it?
Okay, so like in this case with this guy, it was okay to be like back, because I didn't know how to explain innovation, or it didn't occur to me. But in this case, it would have been fine to just back out and be like, hey, this is not, it's best that you go 1031 it.
Yeah, not every opportunity or person that is open to having a conversation is going to be a good fit. It just might not work. No matter how many tools you add in your tool belt, it just might not work for that property. But something that people should focus on a little bit more, and even myself, I'm working on it, is not being so short-sighted, right? Sure, I'm looking at 123 Main Street, but what if he has 598 Appleton and he has 615 Montgomery? Or what if he's a buyer and he buys in the same area? We have to make sure we're really squeezing the lemon and really trying to maximize relationships, especially with somebody that's an investor who's still looking to buy, who seems pretty savvy. That's a good guy to have in your pocket. All right. So that was a lot more in depth than I actually wanted to go, but hopefully you guys
Thank you. I
got
appreciate
something
that.
value from that. Oh, okay. All right, I appreciate it. And how do I say your name, Guion? I appreciate you talking back to me, man. It's been quiet.
It's Carlos, but it's Giancarlo. I got a long name. You can call me Carlos. Everybody calls me Carlos.
Okay, Carlos it is. I appreciate that, Carlos. Okay. feedback's always necessary. All right, so that was a little bit more in depth than I wanted to to do, but yeah, again, hopefully that's kind of how I try to look at it. I know Cody had some feedback that I'm just now seeing. So I guess Cody or TJ, if you guys want to give some feedback, or Hiram, if you had something.
Yeah, actually, on the home equity protection program, you said about 60 days they could get their money, right? Or were you just shooting a number?
So it depends on the area. Mainly for us, we're only working in cities with populations of like 50,000 and up. If you're in the middle of nowhere, Kentucky, where there's like 300 people, I probably wouldn't bother. But let's say it's more like 15,000 people. I would just set expectations like, hey, they know they live in the middle of nowhere. They know the gas station's, 10 miles north. So it's like, hey, just based off the population, it might be a little bit harder for us to move it. So we're looking for 90 days, 120. But how many days on market are average in that area?
Okay, appreciate it.
But yeah, I would definitely do at least 60, because if somebody comes with a loan, that underwriting process takes like 30, 45 days. But yeah.
Okay.
All right, that's it.
Oh, that's it.
Does that make sense, Chung? Or I'm sorry.
Yeah, thank you so much, because I needed that direction. My brain was so fuzzy on these calls.
There's a lot of paths to take, and sometimes it's hard to figure out which one to go on. You'll get there, man. It just takes some experience, but you'll get there.
Thank you. I'm just gonna keep going right at it.
Cody, you had something?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I would kind of just be cool. Don't take things on face value. Like someone says something and you're just like, okay, yeah, and making assumptions. It's okay to be curious. And I heard you mention 1031 exchanges a lot. We're not tax professionals. We just play them on TV, right? So that's one strategy. They might want to take that capital gains hit for a loss or something like that. So you just want to be careful about. But yeah, it's better just to do 1031. It's not necessarily wrong, but they have other options. You just kind of just stay open to what they say and take it all in, and it's okay to clarify and ask them other questions to kind of figure out the situation. So good job though.
Thank you.
Right on.
Man, okay. So since this is, of course, highlighting Chung tonight, we do just want to ask some questions kind of about like your experience, and a couple of other questions just about the program and where you're at currently, and then kind of where you want to be in the future. So I think TJ has some of those. Let me see. Okay.
Sorry. My computer's messing up.
You're fired, TJ.
I know. It's one of those days that my technology is not working with me. It's being very honoring with me. I do apologize. So John, from the beginning you started doing this till now, how have you felt about experience? What do you for people that are thinking about getting into Zero Excuses, what would you want to tell them? If you were where you're at now, with the experience you have now, what would you tell the past you about this experience?
I would have told myself to stop hesitating and do it earlier, because like I can't imagine being where I am and being able to talk to any of these sellers at all without this program. Like it's almost, if you find yourself like floundering around and not knowing what to do and you need direction, like this program is exactly what that is.
Very cool. Let me think here. I had another question for you. I'm totally drawing a blank. So other than this, since you started, how long has that been since you made that first call?
I started, I remember like the first week of January. That was right after the New Year's. I signed up for the program.
Okay, so not too terribly long.
Yes,
So, would you recommend that program to someone else if if someone asks you about it?
yeah, I'd recommend this program to everyone I come across.
Very cool. Very cool. So, what's your favorite things about the program?
The support, like it's just crazy. Like every time I know I have something that's bothering me or anything, I can turn to you guys, and just ask you guys, and just to support and seeing you guys every day. It's just amazing.
Love it, man. Well, you, I've definitely seen you do leaps and bounds from where you started. We all have our limitations. When no one comes out knowing exactly what to say, and I was one of the ums and ahs, just like everybody else. And I've seen you grow so much, man. And this last call was okay, but I've seen you do a lot better too. You've had some great calls. This one kind of flushed you. You went down a road that you weren't used to. But that being said, man, I'm super proud of you. I think you just done some great things. On Tuesday nights, guys, this is what we're going to be digging into: is these type of calls, learning more about lead management. So if you come across things that you're having situations you just don't know what to do, please bring them on these nights. If you curious about what the next step is after a cold call, and you want to know what the next thing is, get with us. We'll be happy to help you get to those next steps. Objections you've been hearing. That's what this group is for, is to help people get past their limitations. And so we want to help you grow. So if anything comes around, please let us know. Alandra is an amazing resource for us. She is just a wealth of knowledge. And for her to give our time, please be interacting with her, asking questions. She does this for free, guys. She's not getting paid to do this. So, give her some gratitude whenever you can. Ask her as many questions because she might not be always here for us. So we got to make sure we take advantage while we got her around. So thank
Ali,
you.
are you sick or something, Ali? Are you all right? Are you going somewhere?
Yeah, I got 6 months. No, I'm just
I'm worried about you.
I'm doing implication questions right now, Cody. I'm trying to stretch it out where people know that they need to ask questions and not let me dead silence in here.
It's working. I'm afraid.
You better be asking some more questions, Cody. I don't want to be. It should be no silence in here. It should be like everyone with their hands raised. Everybody.
Yeah.
That's right.
Anyway,
man.
just wanted to say I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Chung. Good
No,
job.
I love it.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah. And yeah, I love like a lot of the new people here. Like I feel like we had another crowd that kind of phased out and we were seeing the same people, and it's really cool to kind of see the next batch. So I'm curious where we can take it and what we can do together and work together. So before we kind of head out, I do want to point out that in the REI Blueprint Facebook group, if you haven't joined it, what are you doing? All right, make sure you guys go on this post. It's featured. Go ahead, comment on it. We just pulled almost 12,000 records. This is all coming straight from county. So this is the freshest of the freshest data. They literally, the paper that the homeowners got that says notice of default, the ink is still wet. So these are really high priority leads. If you guys want these, we can't really keep up with the volume right now. Please just go on this post, comment under it, me, and we're gonna do a raffle and give away free pre-foreclosure data, already skip traced, everything you need to go ahead and take off with these leads and work them yourselves. Anything you work on it, keep it. If you want to come back and JV with us, cool. But that is something we do just want to give back to you guys. So if you guys could kind of, if you know somebody that needs leads or they need like skip tracing, boom, free leads, free marketing, it's already done. All right, so that's that. And the other thing, if you guys can see it. Perfect. All right, so Julian just sent a request. Let's get him in there. And then this other thing here as well, this is our YouTube channel. We are super close to 1,000. So if you guys could go ahead and subscribe, that'd be really great. We're going to be bringing more content. TJ and I got something we're working on that is super top secret. I will not disclose. But we are going to start doing some actual live seller calls, posting that material in there. So you guys can see like the quality of the leads, see how we actually talk to homeowners, how we navigate different situations. Not going to promise every call is going to be perfect, but we're here to show the good, the bad, ugly, and in between. So those are just 2 things for you guys. Other than that, I don't have anything. Anybody have any last minute questions, comments, concerns? 3, 2.
I have a quick question.
Okay.
Like how long is the process before someone actually starts getting on the phone and getting the experience and
So doing the No Excuses program, signing up with that, you will need to reach out to Diana or Elvie. So what essentially happens is they send you they send you a couple of videos just kind of explaining the system, the dialer that we use, how it works, how you navigate it. But once you get set up on that, you can start making calls immediately, and you would just let them know your schedule and when you can dial, and you can start almost immediately.
Okay, and it's manual dialing or is it an automatic dialer?
No, it's on a dialer. I
Okay.
believe it's a 10-line dialer.
Nice.
So we literally have our whole team on it. It's about 40 paid members. They all work at different times, but the dialer in terms of capacity, man, I think last Friday alone, we did 165,000 dials.
Nice.
That's the
Okay.
dialer doing the work, but that's the type of volume we're going through.
Okay. All right. Nice. Perfect. Thank you.
All right, cool. Yeah, we're up there for sure in terms of dials. So that's an opportunity for you guys if you want to, and it's completely free. Go through that program. We'll calibrate your calls. It'll be like a week. And then from there, you can figure out what path you want to take in your life. All right, and that's different for everybody. But hopefully that answered your question. If not, that is it, guys. Really fun night. Let's do this again sometime. I will see you guys. Yeah, we'll be back here tomorrow. Tomorrow, you already know. It's oh, I messed it up, Graham. I had it in my head. What was your nickname? The thread pulling. Ah, damn it. I'm sorry. Coach K and Graham, he pulls
Yeah, we're
threads.
gonna pull some more threads on Thursday. Yeah, that's right.
I butchered your name. I'm sorry. I haven't done it in so long. But yeah, Coach K, Graham tomorrow. They're probably gonna do some role plays, some calibrations, and definitely give you guys some really good feedback. So that'll be tomorrow. But that's it. Thank you guys so much for coming tonight. Hope you guys have a good night. Bye.
Good night.
Bye, everyone.
See you guys.